Have you been thinking about starting a virtual assistant, but you're wondering how much money can I really make as a VA? What should my virtual assistant fees be if I do choose to pursue this path? Well, we're gonna cover all of that inside of this video, so you're in the right place. If you haven't met me, my name is Abbey Ashley. I am the CEO and founder of The Virtual Savvy, where we teach people how to work from home, living their freedom life. That's right here on the Virtual Savvy YouTube channel. We are talking all about virtual assistants all day, every day, because we're obsessed with it, and we're obsessed with the life that our students all the time are getting through starting their own VA businesses. So if that's something you want to learn more about, definitely subscribe to my channel and make sure you click the bell to be notified every time I release new content. As you can see, I've got my handy dandy whiteboard with me here today because we're going to be getting down into the nitty gritty of some of the numbers you may be worried or curious about when starting your VA business. So what I'd like to do today is break down the 7 steps that you need in order to set your virtual assistant fees. Now, every virtual assistant is different, and so of course I'm not going to tell you exactly what you should charge, but you should take note that it is not uncommon, especially for US-based virtual assistants, to start their fees at $20 to $30, even sometimes $40 an hour, and that's just for general admin. And I want to make sure you understand this from the beginning because there's a lot of misconceptions about what a virtual assistant should charge, what your VA fees should be. So I wanted to go ahead and put that out into the open. We have students inside of our Savvy System program who are starting out making $30 an hour, all the way up to VAs who are making hundreds of dollars an hour and have million-dollar virtual assistant businesses. Really, what's so great about virtual assistant is that you get to choose your own path and grow it as large as you want it to go. So let's go ahead and break down the 7 steps you need to take in order to set your virtual assistant fees for your business. Step number 1 is to factor for taxes. Unfortunately, none of us can avoid taxes, right? So whenever you are deciding on how much money you want to make inside of your business, you have to make sure to remember to factor for taxes, okay? So let's just go ahead and play with some rough numbers here. If I'm wanting to make, let's say, an extra $500 or $600 a month, that's my goal in general. It might be a little bit wiser to go ahead and shoot higher than that. Let's say around the $1,000 mark. And I'm going to show you why. Let's say that you are making $1,000 in invoices. Let's say maybe you have sold 4 packages of 10 hours, and that is $250 per client that they're paying you on a monthly basis. So you're getting $1,000 coming into your bank account, right? However, you do have business expenses, and we'll talk a little bit about this later, but let's just say because overhead for virtual assistants is really low, you might not have a lot of expenses, but just to keep the math easy, let's go ahead and say that you have about $100 of business expenses. So that means that your actual profit is gonna be $900, right? So if we're looking at this $900 profit, how much should you be saving back for taxes? My recommendation is normally, especially if you live inside of the United States, to save about 30% of your profit each month for taxes. That means that out of this $900, you would be actually putting in a savings account $300. Our $900 that we made minus the $300 that we're saving for taxes is gonna be $600 a month. So that $600 a month is pure profit. You get to keep that. That is your income, but it's not quite the $1,000 a month that you planned on. So this is a really important thing that you need to factor. Now, 30%, that is a blanket number. And of course, I'm not a tax advisor. I can't tell you exactly how much you'll be paying in taxes. And it really has to depend on your personal situation anyways. However, we have found with our students that a good middle point safe number is about 30% for most individuals. The nice thing is that you've already saved a huge chunk of money. If it ends up being a little over that, it's definitely not as drastic as if you hadn't saved anything. And of course, if it ends up being less than that, maybe you only end up paying 20% of your total income in taxes, then you get a nice little bonus at the end of the quarter or the end of the year whenever you pay your taxes. With this information in mind, it's time for you to come up with your income goals. Is that $600 actually what you need to be taking home? Let's say, no, Abby, actually, I need double that amount, right? So if you want to be bringing home $1,200 a month, you might actually want your total revenue from client work to be closer to the $2,000 a month mark. I'm gonna race. Step number 3 for deciding on your virtual assistant fees is to time block, for you to decide actually how much time you can commit to running your business. Maybe you have your income goal, you know, I need to make $1,200 of profit at the end of the day after taxes, which means I need to be making about $2,000 a month. How much time do you actually have to be working with clients? And that's gonna help you actually determine your hourly rate. So let's take another example. Let's say that you decide in a given week, you can work 5 days a week, okay? And this is actually just in the morning before work and a little bit in the evenings. Maybe you have a full-time job currently. This would mean that you have 25 hours per week in order to make that $2,000, right? Now, most months have 4 weeks inside of a year, and I like to do this calculation because I could go ahead and divide it by the annual rate and all of that, but this is just quick math. We're just trying to figure out what rate you should be choosing. In the same way, maybe there are 5 weeks in a month, but this kind of underestimating helps you have a little bit of leeway in choosing your rate too. Maybe you want to take a 1 week vacation at Christmas time or in the summer. There's going to be a month where you're actually working fewer hours. So I like to do this quick math. So again, we have 25 hours a week. So you want to be making $2,000 a month. There are an average of 4 weeks inside of a month, which means you need to be making $500 a week. Then what do? We're going to divide that by how many hours you have to work. I think I can do this math in my head, but this would be about $20 an hour, okay? So again, this is a really great starting rate. This is not where I would want you to stay. If you're doing general admin work, know that it might be smart for you to go ahead and increase that amount to $25, $30 an hour. Again, the more money you can make inside of that range is gonna be good, but this is a really good starting point. Which brings us to step number 4, deciding on your hourly rate. Yes, we've done all the math. You see all the numbers. Maybe the number that you see is a little bit more. Maybe you got to the end and you said, oh, based off of how much I need and how much I work, my rate needs to be $100 an hour. There's a couple different ways to go about that. You can learn a higher end service like web design. You could build a team around you. So maybe you can only do $30 an hour, but instead of 20 hours a week, you can work 200 hours a week because you have a team behind you supporting you, right? There's a lot of different ways to go about this, but at the end of the day, you get to decide. You get to decide how much you're going to charge. And again, that $30 an hour range is perfect for most virtual assistants beginning in general admin. What do you think your hourly rate is going to be inside of your virtual assistant business? I want to know in the comments below. Step number 5 is to cast aside doubt. I know that it can be incredibly scary to start a virtual assistant business. I know that you may be wondering, do I really have what it takes? Do I have the skills to do this? I want to assure you that the skills that actually led you to this video, you researched, you came up with a plan, you did the math to find out the number that you actually need for your own hourly rate. So many of these skills can be transferred into skills that can help small business owners. Everything from answering customer service emails to doing research projects to actually helping clients with their social media or back-end project management. There's so much that you can do as a virtual assistant. And even if you don't have all the skills, I know that you are a fast learner. It's why you're here trying to consume information right now. It gives me the confidence that you can do this, just like the thousands of students we have taught how to do virtual assistants have gone on to be able to launch their own business and make money from home. Step number 6 is to plan to incrementally increase your prices. Maybe you got to the end of the day and you saw this $20 an hour range and you thought, actually, that feels really nice. I don't know if I could charge $30 or $40 an hour. We like to do something called an incremental pricing recipe. This means that with every new client, you're gonna raise your rate by maybe just $2.50 or $5. This means that you might get your first client at $20 an hour. Maybe your second, you get at $25. Maybe you're still kind of feeling the waters. This feels a little unsure to raise your rate. So your next one, you get at $27.50, and your fourth client, you get at $30 an hour. As your experience grows, your rate should grow as well. And it's okay to increase your rate with every new client that you get as your confidence grows. All right, and step number 7 is to decide on your packaging. Are you going to do hourly based pricing or are you going to do package pricing? Package based pricing is great if you have some kind of a deliverable other than just hours exchanged, meaning at the end of of our time working together, or at the end of this month, you will have a website. I'm going to manage your Pinterest, and the promise I'm giving you is that I'm going to grow your Pinterest account. You're giving something other than the hours that you worked. If it takes you 50 hours to build a website or 10 hours to build a website, at the end of the day, if they're getting a gorgeous website, it doesn't matter how long it took you, right? That's where package-based pricing is beautiful, because the better you get at your job, you actually make more money. However, when you're first starting in your virtual assistant business, maybe you're offering general admin like invoicing, customer service emails, and those are really hard to quantify a deliverable, especially if you're doing lots of different things for a business. So for most new VAs, I actually encourage them to do hourly pricing. Again, most start at that $30 an hour range, increase their prices over time. And then if they go on and they hone in and they learn a specialized skill like Dubsado setup or social media management or podcast editing, then to transition to package-based pricing. All right, that's all that I have for you today. I hope this information has been helpful for you. Of course, if you want to check out more videos, I have tons all over my website that you can check out. Everything from marketing your services to getting set up legally to going a little bit deeper into the types of services you can offer as a virtual assistant. And hey, maybe you are brand new to this world. My recommendation for you is to check out our virtual assistant checklist and starter kit. It's literally a step-by-step checklist that gives you not just what you need to do to set your rate, but what you need to do entirely to get your business set up. I'm gonna link to that below. All right, thanks again, friends. It's been so nice to have you here with me today. I hope that you enjoyed my chicken scratch, and I'll see you in the next video.